Shalom. Shalom, Yesharala. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Slaki. My bad. It's kind of loud. Slaki. I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Ladash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakatham to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be on. May peace and blessings be until you elect. Right. It's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch, and in this quick lesson, just gonna get it to whatever state you in. Be content. Right. Be content. Right. Speaking to myself first and foremost. You have to really check that demon, that coveting demon, right? Because a lot of the time, matter of fact, let's go ahead and get that word meaning of covet. Covet. Let me see what Google says. All right, yeah, it's solid. This is the word covet. It says yearn to possess or have something. Yeah. To yearn and possess, to have something. Right? And I'm looking at what does the Most High mean by covet, like in the Bible. It says the word covet in the Bible represent an evil desire for someone else's things. Exactly. You don't want to be coveting after pretty much another brother, to yearn to possess what he has, because it usually happens when it's something that you don't have, but that brother got it, and you be like, damn, I wish I had that, but when them things happen, you have to rebuke it through the power of Spirit Yahweh Shon Shai and reflect on what the Lord has given you. Right? You might be, I'll just give an example, the easiest example I can think of. You may not have a woman, right? You might not have a woman or even much money. Well, I'm going to say the woman, fuck it. You might not have a woman, but you want one. It might have been a little minute. Hell, it could be up to years where you don't have a woman. But you see a brother, he got a woman, and it just seemed like it's going well. Hell, he mess around have multiple women, and you like, dang, I can't get one. You don't want to be coveting after that brother because, Lord allowed him to have multiple women when it comes to you, it's just like, nah, you can't have none right now. Keyword right now. For whatever purpose that the Yahweh Shion Shah sees fit. Right? Because a lot of time it happens once you found out about like something, because you don't deal with it the whole time. It happens once you hear something about it. You might be chilling at first, and then you hear your brother say, hell yeah, man, shit, I'm getting paid about 5,000 a week, and you sitting there like making 1,000 or 2,000 a week, and you're like, damn, bro, like, what the hell he do? Wish I had that money. Because, behind every joke, there is some truth to it. Behind every joke. But just reminding, just to be content with what the Lord gave you. Because a lot of the time, before you even hear what a brother may have or somebody else may have, you really were chilling with what you already got. And this is like a testimony, that I'm like speaking of myself, because it didn't really happen with a brother per se. It was more like a coworker at my job. And I'm not gonna lie, it really pissed me the fuck off at first. Because, we was just chilling, and we managed to be talking about like, money and stuff. Found out Jake was getting paid more than me. But, he has less experience than I do. And I ain't gonna lie, I was vexed as hell. But at the same time, I had to think. I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't leverage anything because I wasn't doing so well at the time at the job. Jake showing up late and shit. Don't do that. show up to work, go to work, do your job, you know. But yeah, I was getting upset about that, and I was like, damn, man, I wish I could make more. He ain't even doing shit. I'm sitting there, he looking at me for answers and shit, but he making more than me. So, but I ended up talking to a brother about it. I pretty much just got over and just left it. Because before we even had that conversation about who was making more or whatever, guess what was happening? I was chilling. I'm chilling. I was chilling with what I was making. I was like, hey, it's enough for me to do what I got to do. Be in the ministry, still making enough money to where, like, I'm okay. I'm chilling for the most part. But soon I hear somebody else making more than me, but he doing less than me. Then I'm like, what the fuck? Now I want more now. Now all of a sudden I'm not feeling too good. That's Satan. Satan right there. That's why it's so important to be content. Right? Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get that word content before we get some scriptures. Salakia. Content. It says, content, in a state of peaceful happiness, satisfy, a state of satisfaction. Exactly. You're being satisfied with what you have. You're being okay. You're being good. You're happy with what you got. And Satan will try to take that from you by conversations. You either whether you're having that conversation or you overheard a conversation. That's the way Satan could creep in and be like, yeah, you want, and he'll more than likely try to do it with a brother. I'm not gonna act like I ain't never dealt with that before. Of course I've dealt with it before, but guess what? I had to rebuke it and be content with what I got right now. Because whatever Lord got for me is good for me. As it says in Hebrews the 12th chapter, man, he chastised us for our profit. Pretty much, Lord, he put certain things on us for our profit. So if it's good for you to not be making that much money right now, then it's probably it's best for you. It's as good for you not to have that woman for however long. It's probably best for you. Women are just a distraction anyway. If anything, they slow you down. But as men, you're still gonna want a woman. So you suffering either way it goes. You either suffering with a woman or without, but more so with one though. But Slacky, let me go ahead and get into these scriptures, man. I'm gonna get 1 Timothy chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 6, and I'm gonna read it in the AMP, which is the Amplified version. It says, but godliness actually is a source of great gain when accompanied with contentment. That contentment which comes from a sense of inner confidence based on the sufficiency of Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? So that inner confidence based on what the Lord has already given you, man, right? You got a car, you got a job, you got a roof over your head, you got somewhere to sleep at night. You can sleep at comfortably. Whatever it may be that the Lord gifts you with. You might not have all of those things, but you have at least one of them. At least one of them. And even if you didn't, the Lord's testing you, for whatever reason. But I'm going to read verse 7. It says, for we have brought nothing into this world, it is clear that we cannot take anything out of it either. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. Food and clothing. So if the Lord has fed you and you got clothes on your back, you ever have put on a shirt, some pants, some drawers on, hey, you good. You Gucci. Being content in whatever state you are. And I'm going to get that in this Philippians. It's in Philippians chapter 4, verse 12, back in the KJV. It says, I know both how to be abased, and this is Apostle Paul speaking, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to be abound and to suffer need. Exactly. Because that's what's going to happen in the truth. You're going to have your ups and downs in this truth. But you got to know how to be, pretty much content within all that. Right? You got to know how to move within all that. When you're abased, you still got to be good in that sense, as well as when you're abound. It's easy to do it when you abound, when everything's going good, your money looking right, your finances looking right. If you have a woman, your woman been acting right. You know, you've been able to eat some better food. You ain't been dealing with too much problems. Really, you feeling good in the spirit. It's easy to do it when everything's going well, but be content with everything's going well. But what about when everything is not? Having car problems, financial situation, money problems. Well, man, I just feel like it's always something. It just feel like, man, it's always something. Will you be content then? Let's speak to myself first and foremost, man, because I gotta ask myself these things too, man. And I know I could definitely do better. From just being honest, I could do better, especially when I'm like abased, when I'm in a lower spirit, brought low. Because Satan, man, he'll use your desires against you. I mean, he's, like the elder Mayaka Allah from, out here in Dallas. Like you said, man, Satan's playing for keeps, bro. He played dirty. Like, don't expect Satan to play fair with you, man. Expect curveballs. Expect, cheating. Pretty much cheating to try to win. Satan, Lord allows Satan to, fuck with you and the things you desire most. You might be like, dang, you want more money? You trying to be happy about it? You're like, I'm trying to be happy. Like, I at least got my daily bread. Then have a Jake come up to you talking about money and how good he got it and shit. And now you be like, bro, what the fuck? This nigga don't serve the Lord. That's what Satan do. And sometimes if it's just that much, just try to get away from that conversation. But that's what Satan try to do. He try to make you, upset. He try to take that you being content, being satisfied, being peaceful, right? Trying to take that away from you. That's what Satan tries to do. And you can't let him do that. That's why it's important to, rebuke Satan, because he will try it. You might be a brother without woman, but everybody want to talk to you about women. Oh man, this one girl, man, I got this one girl. It's like, damn, man, it's like, cool. It's kind of like that, like, cool, man. You might be burning, you want something, and you just can't get none really, but you're always hearing about women. It's like, dang, I want to hear that shit. Whatever it may be. Jake might be talking about his car, man. He just got we got a new car. Jake got him a Jeep Wrangler or some shit. Whatever. BMW, and you were like, damn, it might be a car that you wanted and he got it. You're like, what the f-? But that's Satan trying to make you not be content. Right? Because before you hear these things, a lot of the time, you're okay. You're okay. Hear these things or like see it. You might see it. Well, how was you feeling before? You was chilling. And sometimes he'll get you when you're low too in the spirit. Because Satan, bro, they love to have a field day when you're low in the spirit. As you should know. And if you don't know, you're going to find out. But yeah, so being content, man. There's nothing better than being content with what you got, because you're satisfied. You're satisfied with what Yahweh Shem Shai giving you. Right? Even if you are going through, you're still satisfied with what the Lord still gave you. You might be going through the most, but guess what? You still able to eat. You still got clothes on your back. You still got somewhere to shower. Go to sleep at night. Whatever it may be, you have at least one of those things. You got clothes on your back. At least one of those things. It might suck in a moment with whatever you are going through, but it's like you have to fight to be content, a lot of the times. Because the Satan, he will poke at you. That's just how it is. But I'm going to go ahead and get this Hebrews chapter 13, and I'm going to get verse 5 in the NIV. Right? Was it New International Version? But Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5, it says, keep your lives free from the love of money. As scripture say, man, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not just money itself, because money, scriptures also say money is a defense. But the love of money is the root of all evil. That's why you got these celebrities now doing all they can to get the bag. All right. Marie says, keep your lives free from the love of money. It's like it. And be content with what you have. Because the Most High have said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So we say with confidence, Yahweh Bashion Shah is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? All right. So be content with what you have. Be satisfied with what you have. Because if you ain't got nothing, bro, you got Yahweh Bashion Shah, which is something that not many people can say. Majority of people cannot say they got Yahweh Bashion Shah. They know the true names of the Lord. If you ain't got nothing, you got that. And guess what? You know that the Lord can come through for you. You have understanding of the scriptures. You understand of what's coming. Because, you know, you might be going through a moment, you know, I've heard it. I've never dealt with this before, or at least not yet. You know, I've heard brothers that went homeless before. Oh, even the apostles. You know, at some point, it was Apostle Rakai and Apostle Gabari. At some point, they were homeless. You know? Hell, Yahweh Shah, the chief of us, he was homeless. Make it make sense. But guess what? What do they both have in common? They had the Lord with them. Yahweh Bashion Shah. They got him. They got him with them. And it's the same for you, man. For you sincere Akim, while you few sincere Aqua, y'all have Yahweh Bashion Shah with you. If you ain't got anything, you feel like your world just come crushing down, you got the Lord. You know? And you just have to really be content with that, man. As hard as it can be, you know. You just have to be content with that, because, you know, you're not going to be abased forever, just like you ain't going to be abounded forever. At one point, you're going to come down, as well as one point you're going to go back up. That's just how it is, man. It's a slippery slope in this truth, man. You know, as you get stronger, guess what? Them slopes get lower and lower and lower as you get stronger. But anyways, you know, Lord willing, y'all zedified. I want to end it out by saying, Ka halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom, Yasharallah.